I'm joined by some incredible builders. Trailblazers is part of the build program. It's a very, very exciting time to be a Chainlink Marine and to be part of kind of the build and Chainlink ecosystem, having just announced Chainlink Rewards Season 1 yesterday. So very, very excited. Culmination of a lot of hard work and a vision that we couldn't be more excited about. So I'm Roman Tirone. I lead the build program here. We're going to walk you through kind of a deep dive into who's part of Season 1, the amazing builders here, what they're focused on, and we'll kind of start off with some introductions. So welcome, everyone, and let's get started. So Adam, would you mind kicking us off?
Sure. Hey, everyone. I'm Adam. I'm with Dolomite. Dolomite is a money market with a very wide range of assets you can't find anywhere else, and with deep integrations that really give you the ability to continue using your assets for all the things you love, your vesting, staking, rewards, voting, even while borrowing against them.
Awesome.
Hey, Scott Dykstra, co-founder, CTO of Space and Time. Space and Time is the first kind of tamper-proof database that allows smart contracts to actually ask questions about data, ushering in kind of a new era of data-driven contracts, very inspired by Chainlink, born within the Chainlink ecosystem. So we're really happy to be here for our 4th SmartCon.
Absolutely. Edwin?
Hello, everyone. My name is Edwin, the CEO and co-founder of Brickken. We are a tokenization as a service platform. We have served for over 300 billion in 6 different countries. And yeah, we started our journey here since 2021, I believe. That's when we entered the build program. So happy to be here to explain a little bit how that journey has been. Thank you.
Awesome. Jarryd?
Thank you very much. I'm Jarryd. Originally, we were one of the first guys into the build program as well. We've been around for a long time. We started off as Truflation, so inflation data. Some of the previous panels were talking about not trusting the data that's out there. We believe that too with the government inflation data. And now we're expanding out into the Truf Network, so a tested, verified data layer for everything out there in the market.
Awesome. Amazing. And yeah, I can attest to how much work you all put in over the years, and to be 4th SmartCon. Scott, I hope this one shapes up. It only seems to be getting better and better. Great. I think we're going to start off with just kind of what is exciting to you right now. You have Chainlink Rewards Season 1 kicking off. What's on your roadmap that kind of also is in confluence with this launch that you'd love to talk about and touch on? What excites you most kind of about this launch, Adam?
I think, at least for me, we love the Chainlink community. It's large, it's active, it's very deep into crypto, very aware. And for us, we really love what we build. It's something that is appreciated. The more you care about crypto, the more you know about it. And for us, bringing it to the broader Chainlink ecosystem, that's big for us. That's what we're really focused on. That's what we love about it. And especially with how core Chainlink is to our ecosystem, to our protocol. So I think that's really what we're looking forward to. And we're looking to really grow a lot of our assets, and all that's powered by Chainlink.
Amazing. And how about you, Scott?
I think Space and Time was the first or the second, maybe behind Truflation as like the second build partner. Mm-hmm. So it's been a really fun journey since early 2022, getting this off the ground. I agree that the Marines, the Link ecosystem, the Link community is extremely strong. Space and Time has a pretty significant rewards program to deliver to Link stakers, the first batch of which has already been delivered to Link stakers. And
absolutely,
we were pleasantly surprised how supportive the Link staking community was. Like a lot of people really held their rewards, which was a pleasant surprise for us. It was to be expected in that it's a great community, strong. But also on the engineering side, we've been really pleasantly blessed, I say, by like Chainlink's engineering help as well. Like we've had a lot of access to product management engineering on the Chainlink side that's helped us get Space and Time off the ground. So it's been a great journey.
Yeah, awesome. I'd say that's the biggest thing that we really benefited from the build program for us as well. Having that kind of access is what we love about it.
Oh, that's great to hear. And I will definitely dive more into that. But how about you, Edwin?
Yeah, so I mean, on the tech stack, we integrated absolutely everything, and now even studying space. So it's kind of like we are very, call that linear to the Chainlink vision, right? And And today, for example, or yesterday, a couple of Marines already approached Binance and said, hey, get a reward, so I want to learn about your project. And that's kind of like a different from a normal airdrop where it's like, oh, I'm just going to farm and dump. Here, there were people trying to educate themselves as to, okay, so what do you guys do? I want to learn more because I want to hold. And it's kind of like the mentality of the Marines. I mean, it's one of the most positive communities still. Back in 2018, I was a Marine myself. And I remember like it's a knowledge pool and everybody's trying to build because we do believe in that decentralization and blockchain, how it's gonna change everything. So yeah, I mean for us it's kind of like a spread the know-how as to what is Brickken building, because you never know who's gonna hit that wallet. Maybe it's a client, maybe it's a community, an ambassador, or just a believer in what we're doing, which is tokenization.
Absolutely. Awesome. And how about you, Jarryd?
Yeah, so a culmination of a lot of what's already been said, but I think as you were stating about being someone that was first in with Build, is that the duration of how the community has interacted with us over time has always been great. And I know there's a lot of other chains out there that, there's the new kid on the block and then eventually it kind of just fizzles out over time. But Chainlink and its community have always been supportive since the beginning. And there's a lot of amazing work that you guys are doing and the community itself. So of course we want to reward that as well. So yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And I definitely want to touch on too, you mentioned, Edwin, just the community, being interested and really kind of taking control of the knowledge they have, about the projects that are being and in companies that are being part of Chainlink Rewards Season 1. At the foundation of Build, we want to, really showcase you guys and how you're leveraging Chainlink and how that is benefiting the entire ecosystem as a whole. So it's our job to educate the Chainlink staking community to really understand, appreciate, and ultimately evangelize what y'all are building. So I think that's a core tenet of what we try to design here, and I'm very, very excited to see it kick off.
I would just add as well, sorry.
Go ahead.
The community themselves are also very educated. As you were saying, they've come to the booth, they really want to hear about what you're building. It's not just when is the airdrop, it's what are you building? We really love it. Let's talk more about it. Mm-hmm. We've been a Link Marine for forever, stuff like that. So that's pretty rare in this industry. So I think that's also pretty incredible.
Yeah, it's definitely something that we take great pride in at Chainlink, and we're very blessed to share it with you guys. And that's part of the reason why the Build program is something we're proud of and excited to kick off here. So let's get into a little bit about your journey. I mean, the founder's journey here in Web3 and crypto is the hardest in the world, in my opinion. Not only are you navigating product market fit, but you're also navigating almost industry market fit at the same time, right? There's a ton of different things and factors that can help you pivot, move. You've been through certainly so many different iterations. We've been on this journey together. So how has being part of this ecosystem shaped your journey and direction? It's been a few years. You mentioned 2022. Now we're in 2025. SmartCon isn't the only thing that has changed since then, right? There's been a ton of different things that have gone into that. So maybe starting with you, Jarryd, like talk a little bit about kind of the journey and the role of the Chainlink ecosystem.
Good. That's a great question. It has been a very interesting journey. And the thing I always loved about the crypto community as a whole is that they are very passionate, whether for good or for bad. But it's been really, really good working with Chainlink over time with all the products that we've had. And we've definitely seen as well more and more adoption of crypto. And honestly, the word I could use for it is respect, in terms of from bigger traditional players. Like we just had a great presentation about a lot of traditional finance that's moving over into the crypto space. And I think Chainlink is seeing that in the future and allowing a lot of their projects to kind of interact with that. And yeah, I think ultimately the journey has been great. And it's getting more and more serious, but in a good way.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And how about you, Edwin?
Yeah, I mean, when you're a founder, I gotta say, I mean, you gotta be a psychopath to start something blockchain, right? I mean, it's crazy. But then in the back, you also want to have some partners, but not that once you sign a contract and it's just a piece of paper.
Yeah.
Like, you want full support. And over the past 3 years, we've been very close to the Chainlink and the team, and we have a lot of respect for every single member. And I think the culture of Chainlink itself and the team is very positive, so that kind of nurtures the community. So sometimes for us, kind of like, hey, we're doing this, what do you advise? Or, oh, we can talk with this person because they did this. So there's always kind of like a network effect, and Chainlink, obviously, it's a bigger organization than us. So that kind of amplifies our possibilities to try to reach the right person that we want to talk to. So, but like everything, I mean, just because you're in Chainlink Build doesn't mean that they're going to give it to you. So you have to ask. You have to nurture the trust, And I think that's kind of like bilaterals, because now also Chainlink opens the door for you. And we have a lot of synergies. So for example, we had standard 7943. They trusted that that standard could be one of the RWAs, and they integrated in the A's. And that doesn't happen overnight. That's a trust validation that has happened for us being in years, but also doing things by the book.
That's absolutely right. And that, it's our job as a build program to put you in a position to succeed and capitalize on some of the amazing things that are being done, not only in Chainlink, but also across the industry. So that's definitely an accomplishment and absolutely. What about you, Scott?
I'd say just to switch it up a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
maybe talk less about the vibe, which is extremely high, and more about the journey. I think Chainlink really inspired the Space and Time team to go more institutional focus,
Mm-hmm.
like marquee DeFi protocols and large financial institutions. And like, again, we were probably build partner number 2 in 2022,
Right.
early 2022. So we
Right behind.
yeah, maybe like a day.
Let them check
we
it
get
out.
it's
Let them
around.
check
It might have been a few
time.
hours. And it was years of like believing that the institutions would come, mainly because of Chainlink, right? It's like Sergey and the Chainlink team were hammering this early on, saying, hey, institutions are coming. That's going to bring a wave of liquidity, a wave of new use cases, a wave of new DeFi protocols and RWAs. And Chainlink's going to lead that charge. And we believed it mainly because Chainlink's been saying it since, 2019 or something, 8-9?
Mm-hmm.
And so we focused a lot on institutions. And then that led us to Microsoft, like Microsoft's venture firm M12 led a round, and they pushed us even further towards institutional. And that was also an introduction from Chainlink.
Mm-hmm.
And so here we are today now, 2025, and I don't think anyone's doubting that institutions are not just coming, they're here. And I think like building technology for larger financial institutions that need to take traditional data from a source database and mint it on the blockchain, like mint RWAs, mint T-bills as stablecoins, for example, create money markets. There has to be a strong infrastructure that banks and financial institutions and money market players feel secure using. So I think just getting deep in the Chainlink ecosystem pushed us in that direction. Has been very positive for Space and Time.
Absolutely. And it cannot be overstated how, incredible you and your team have been to work with and as partners. And there's something very special about this moment on stage with all of you as a culmination of so many years of hard work between our orgs. So kudos. And how about you, Adam?
I'd also think the journey and the infrastructure are just the two biggest things that stand out to me. My co-founder and I started building in DeFi back in the start of 2018, before it was called DeFi, Open Finance back then. And the degree to which the space has changed is incredible. Back then, the whole DEX market did maybe $5 million of trade volume on a good day. We were explaining MetaMask to people and what a decentralized exchange is, and there just wasn't the infrastructure. We couldn't have built what we have today back then.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that's really just what's so incredibly useful about Chainlink, is it provides this layer that lets people succeed, that lets people do more, lets founders and builders build more. And so much of what we have today is built off of Chainlink, especially with the huge breadth of assets we have. A money market like ours really depends on good price feeds and being able to work and be nimble and spin things up quickly. And that's why we jumped on the build program. Just like the others, we were a very early member, and we've loved it ever since.
Yeah, and I love what you said about kind of like, the growth of the industry. Like you spend a lot of your life when you're young learning about other parts of history and industries and different things that mature, and to be part of something in an industry that's really hit terminal velocity, right? And something that we've all been building in. It's an incredible feeling, and it makes you kind of think back to your own journey, which I kind of want to get into with you guys around kind of the specifically the lessons you've gained as a founder in crypto, and maybe some of the things that you'd like to share, because I can tell from experience that it's not it's the most rewarding job on the planet, but it also is the most challenging, right, at the same time. So would love to hear about kind of the lessons, and maybe Adam, you can kick us off.
Sure. I think it's a few things. You have to be agile. You have to I think above all, you have to be a member of the community. You have to be an active user of crypto, of the technology, and that is really where the best ideas come from. The best opportunities are identified by the people who are in the space, who are all in on it, and they are the ones who are going to be the first to move as well. And that's really just came from our journey. We were coming in as people who were trading frequently back in 2017, and we just hated centralized exchanges.
Yeah.
hacks, the fraud. We thought there would be something better, that something better could exist, and we just love to build, and we dove into that, and things evolved over time. But that's also where we saw the opportunity for a money market for that next generation of DeFi. And that's really what we were building, what we loved, and we were building something that we wanted to use above all else.
And that shines through with Dolomite. It really does, and that's part of the reason why we're so bullish on everything you're building in the team. It's such an incredible testament to your vision early on and your co-founders. So it's been a pleasure, and we're excited to see.
It's been a great journey. Couldn't have imagined something like this back then.
Certainly, especially the headphones.
Right.
Headphones, nice touch.
Yeah, it's cozy in here. But Scott, let's jump to you on the kind of lessons or insights.
I say just don't build everything yourself. We were fortunate enough to have some good fundraising early on in Space and Time's journey, largely through introductions from Chainlink. And because we were well funded, we wanted to build a lot ourselves. We built our own data indexer to collect data from blockchains. We built a lot of orchestration services ourselves. And, this was 2022 when we started, and the infrastructure wasn't quite as mature as it is now. And especially now, like if I'm a startup founder today, starting fresh, I'm going to build on a pretty big stack of tools that are already available to me across the board, from cross-chain swaps to dexes to data indexing infrastructure, collecting data, or powerful oracles to get off-chain data on-chain or get price feeds back to your smart contract. So like Space and Time spun our wheels in the early days, like building a lot of the info ourselves because it wasn't quite mature enough yet at the time we thought. But honestly, if we would have just not done that and just waited and just built the core things we absolutely 100% needed and let the rest of the market build some of the other stuff, it's matured so much since 2022. And I'm sure in 2022, people said it's matured so much since 2017.
Right.
And so don't build everything yourself. Take the team you have, focus on your core product, on what you absolutely need, and build from there. And then secondly, you mentioned hey, in the early days we didn't love sexes or centralized exchanges, I should clarify. And I'd say now, the second piece of advice is, I don't know if launching on centralized exchanges really matters that much anymore. There's really good DEX launch programs now through there's Aerodrome on Base as an example, one among many, where the DEXs are stepping up, building new tools for essentially ICOs or for fundraising or for launching your token on chain. And I don't, this big push towards centralized exchanges probably isn't as important anymore. So that's my two pieces of advice.
I'm gonna send that recording to my community. No more listings.
Exactly.
So on our end, we evolved. Obviously, we had the vision that from early 2020, because one of my co-founders came from capital markets, that we saw that all financial instruments would run on chain. That was the goal. We knew it. But we had to start on what was the lowest hanging fruit. And at the time, there was a lot of real estate, kind of oh yeah, super heavy asset, you cannot invest and whatnot. So our first approach was, let's create a crowdfunding for real estate, and then we put it on the rails. And then we started evolving because the market started maturing. So we have been evolving alongside the market, not trying to over-educate, because then we wouldn't have clients. So when people started doing real estate, we started doing the real estate tooling. And then we evolved into private credits. And then we evolved now into our latest deploy that we just now have funds administrations. So we always go with what the market was doing. And I think that's because blockchain is kind of evolves so fast, but yet the product and the business model is not so fast. Kind of the adoption rate is that. So we don't want to overdevelop. And now also that we maintain our lean structure, we have the vision, the core product works. And I do believe that we started to add-ons because other people started building what we needed. So we don't build what we don't have to. We just connect, plug and play. And that's basically what is helping us to have a huge tooling box on tokenization. So kind of my concept here will be, or the best advice is, learn to pivot, thrive on the pivot. Don't be scared about the pivot, because this is not a Web 2. Web 2, one day you can hit it. Kind of oh yeah, I'm going to do this. And the 100 years you did the exact same. But in Web3, you have to analyze how the market is trending, and you have to be quick on that, or you can die. Because probably a lot Metaverse, I never believed in it personally, but maybe some founder found a way, and they say, okay, Metaverse is gonna die, but I can get on some identities that they can do something. So if they started pivoting fast, I found a company who did that. Now they're doing KYCs, and they were in the Metaverse, and I was like, that's a super hard pivot. But he told me the journey, and I was like, Chapo, I think you did great there.
Oh, that's excellent advice, and I I think there are many such cases, right, of the most resilient builders being able to find ways to create value, right? We let the market dictate, and also having conviction. It's that balance, right, of like pivot versus conviction, always. How about you, Jarryd?
Yeah, it was quite interesting what you what you were saying about developing and not building versus buying, right? And you can't really blame yourself for that, because some of these products that have come over time just didn't exist even in 2022. So there wasn't even an option to think about buying it. So we went through a similar thing on our side. And to the point of everyone here, agility is hugely important. And this industry is relentless, but it's kind of the deal that we signed when we got into it, because we didn't want to move at a very slow speed of the more mature industries, so banking, for example. And it's something that we're really excited about, but we need to be proactive about, because we need to see what is coming in the future, how things are moving in the market, and how we're going to react to it. So with Truflation, inflation is still very important, but there's also so many other assets out there that we want to capture.
Absolutely. No, it's well said. And I think moving forward, we have about 7.5 minutes left on the panel here. The staking community is going to be learning about each of your products, right? Each of your companies. And I want to dive into kind of what's on the horizon for your team, and what should stakers and community members, look forward to, learn about your company, and give them a moment to really like internalize some of the incredible things you guys are building. So maybe we can start with you, Jarryd, and then work our way down this way. And please let us know what stakers should expect.
Yeah, so stakers should really expect a lot more breadth in what we're doing. So we started off going really deep with inflation data, but with the new network that we have the ability to have lots and lots of different data points that might be asset backed, for example, but also narrative driven derivatives, for example. So we're seeing more and more. I don't know if anyone saw in the Times Square, I know the mayoral elections. I'm from Australia, so I wasn't able to vote, obviously, but all of that kind of narrative driven markets and prediction markets is getting more and more. So we're really looking at how do we move the network in a way that we can support people building like that, and being able to certify that data as well, which is also hugely important, because more and more people are going to be using these markets, and they want to be sure that when something resolves, it resolves properly. The other thing that I would mention is more and more AI support. So stuff like MCP, for example, so people can use agentic solutions out of the box on the chain and be able to create these markets, not even themselves, so through AI agents as well. So it's really, really exciting. We're forward looking while also trying to have conviction and make sure our product is true to what we originally wanted.
Absolutely. And it's never been more important in the age of kind of information inflation right now.
Yeah.
To have that. So excellent. How about you, Edwin?
Yeah, well, I'm right now in one of the hottest narratives, which is tokenization, the tokenization of everything. Some may things make sense or not, but we're here and we've been building for a couple of years now, 5 concretely. So I want them to understand what we're doing, but I'm going to challenge them. I want to say, we are in real world assets. Jump in the community and test investing in a real world asset. Get your APY of 10 to 50%. Test that kind of like maturity, because the Web2 people are used to even lower interest and we're giving higher. So if they come in and then see the company, I want them to understand the value of diversifying a portfolio that is not full in crypto or digital assets, but also some yielding that comes from the real world assets. So I'm inviting them to jump with us, but put 10 euros, not even more, or 100, I don't care, into one of the assets of one of our clients, because we need that adoption. Now we have an oversupply of assets being tokenized, and the liquidity factor is something that everybody's struggling. So the Web3 community should also push that, right? Because if we all succeed, then really every single financial capital market is going to go on chain, and that's going to be trillions and trillions of market cap to our industry.
Absolutely. And Brickken really is pioneering the adoption of those RWAs, right, on both sides. So very, very excited for our community to be able to learn more and dive in. So appreciate that, Edwin. How about you, Scott?
So Space and Time is basically the first tamper-proof database. We invented and patented ZK proofs, novel new ZK proofs specifically for databases. So a smart contract can ask Space and Time to run a query, look up historical Ethereum information, or look up the wallet that's trying to borrow from a lending protocol and see if they've already paid off loans, answering questions for smart contracts that are often complex. And so just today we announced Space and Time V2, and we're really excited to here at SmartCon and tell everyone, hey, Space and Time is not just collecting data from major EVM chains and allowing EVM smart contracts to query that data. Now, any financial institution or RWA player or anyone with important, valuable financial data can create their own tables on Space and Time, have self custody of those tables, control those tables with their wallet, and then allow their smart contracts to query that data and get cryptographic assurance, tamper-proof assurance that the data hasn't been messed with. And this kind of opens up a whole new world for DeFi and for on-chain financial institutions that need to get like TradFi, market data or balances from traditional accounts off-chain to a smart contract to facilitate usually RWA minting. And we're really excited because there's now this whole market of teams that are creating their own tables on Space and Time. You can think of them almost like blockchain ledgers. And we've been doing a lot of work with Chainlink to use Chainlink as a conduit, as an oracle to get our data from Space and Time to smart contracts for developers in DeFi that are already comfortable with Chainlink, that already build with Chainlink and already know how to use Chainlink contracts as an intermediary.
Mm-hmm.
And then finally, sort of the second, I don't want to say the word airdrop, but the second round of rewards going out to Link stakers for the SXT token, the Space and Time token, is on its way. So we're really excited.
Absolutely. And
great to be here.
Yeah, we couldn't be more excited about the launch and congratulations on the launch today and the announcement as you guys continue to kind of revolutionize how we interact and how people interact with data. I think it couldn't be more important, and it's definitely special to be on the journey with you, and excited for stakers to dive in, test, use, and kind of mess around, tinker with. So how about you, Adam?
Yeah, at Dolomite, a lot of our focus is making Dolomite your home for yield in DeFi, and that's where a lot of our developments are focused. We're going to be expanding out our asset listings by quite a lot. We have a great roadmap of yield-bearing assets, ones that will provide new yield opportunities. We're putting a lot of focus on our new deployment on Ethereum mainnet, especially around yield-bearing stablecoins. It's been a huge narrative and a great opportunity for people, and to facilitate that, we're working with World Liberty Financial to really grow USD1 liquidity on Ethereum mainnet.
Mm-hmm.
We're the first DeFi protocol that they are allocating points to for their USD1 points. Suppliers can earn from that. But on top of that, we're always building out new features to give people more power, more control, more opportunity. And one of those big ones coming out soon is our smart debt and smart collateral. Essentially, you could turn your debt into trading liquidity that people could trade against. And as they do so and pay fees, it pays down your debt. Same thing, you could earn more on your collateral. And it turns Dolomite into a venue for trade liquidity where you could do swaps between various assets, slippage-free swaps between stables. And it's all about continuing to build out those opportunities and give people as much as we can.
Absolutely. And you guys have done a masterful job at making it so easy and smooth to really use your product. I'm very, very excited for the Chainlink community to go on and experience that. I know for a lot of people that I speak to about Dolomite, that's the case. So congrats also on the announcement of the partnership with USD1 at World Liberty.
Yeah, thank you.
Of course. So that concludes our panel. I want to take a moment to thank all of these founders. The grit and really integrity they've led with outshine I think most of the people I've worked with in my career. So thank you so much. We couldn't be more excited as the Build program and Chainlink to launch with you at our side, Chainlink Rewards Season 1. So I really encourage you all to snap a picture, check the website, go on, and kind of support, evangelize, and push this industry forward by supporting the best founders in the space. So thank you all, and have a great rest of your day at SmartCon.